Is that my back squeaking, or is it the chair? I'm not sure. Maybe getting too old for this. Hello, Galaxy. I'm Chris Pirillo. You've tuned into another live edition of the Locker Room Daily Report, or TLDR for short. And today's topic is... it's a heavy one. Happens but once a year. No, not Life Day. Not Star Wars. Sorry, not to disappoint. I know it's not as exciting as getting a new trailer, but we kind of have to get through this. So, bear with me. I have right here a box. And inside this box are some kind of things that are possibly related to the gadget that's also inside this box. It is the Pixel 4 XL, and by now you've probably watched every single video that's been put to the internet, because of course everybody else, literally everybody else, has had their Pixel 4 for at least a week, 2 weeks. One person's even had it for like a month. So, so you've probably already seen everything you need to see to make your decision. I'm not here to change your mind. I'm not here to try to pull you onto my team, because there is no team in in team. Actually, no, I take that back. You can join the Discord server if you want. It is open, it is public, and we do have a variety of rooms. In fact, I've already posted some sample photos. Because, as I discovered, this was shocking to me. They forgot to give me the phone! In the box! You know what else they forgot? They forgot the headphones. They didn't put any headphones in here. What am I supposed to ignore? What am I supposed to never use, right? If they don't put headphones in the box, what am I supposed to never use in here? Huh? I mean, come on! The reason I look forward to this this type of device going all the way back is to get headphones I'm never going to use. I don't know what Google's thinking. Not packing headphones I'm never going to use. Huh. That makes me think that I want to switch to a phone that packs headphones in that I'm not going to use. So that way I have the right to not use the headphones. Google has taken away my right to not use the headphones. Obviously, I'm being a little flippant. Some people are actually legitimately upset. Legitimately upset that they didn't include headphones, earbuds, earpods, ear sticky any thingies that pump out audio. So, I couldn't wait, I am unboxing here. We've got some cardboard. I thought Google Cardboard was dead. This is from Google. It's cardboard. I guess I could act like other people. The feel of the cardboard is kind of rough. It's got this matte texture and these edges that are a bit sharp if you hold it the wrong way. 4 edges, 4 corners, and a hole! A lot of nothing on this cardboard here. Google Cardboard is alive. Oh, fine. You need ASMR? Fine. How's that? A little ASMR for everybody? Yeah, that's my giant thumb back there. Objects in your video viewfinder may be larger than they actually appear. So, I will continue to show you everything else that's in the box. The headphone jack is like me? So we've got the Ankh up here, the Google Ankh, right there. No, actually, it's not an Ankh because there'd be another line in there. That's the SIM ejector tool, which I believe it or not, I've got a collection of these. Not as valuable as Star Wars figures, still. And that's a nice Google packet telling you what you can do. Don't stick it in the mic hole. That's the last thing you want. Whoa, There's some wacky shadows going on there. Do not stick this in the mic hole, okay? Also, a user guide in multiple languages. Some safety and warrant. Don't lick the phone. Do not stick your tongue in the USB port, okay? I've seen enough people do that on YouTube. It's all the rage. First they're eating Tide Pods, and now they're sticking their tongue in the USB ports. I'm not gonna do that, people. I'm not gonna do that. Alright? Just move on if that's what you expect. Like I said, you've seen all the Pixel videos that have been published, so what am I gonna do differently? I don't know. I'm doing my best. They also included a cable. Reminds me of Thing on a Spring. Remember that old game? If you don't, then you're incredibly too young. This is like, I think we should stop calling these things cables and just like call them umbilical cords. Cause that's what they are. The only thing missing is amniotic fluid. It's an umbilical cord, really. Maybe, you know, you've got a wireless charger. But here's the thing. This is what I don't understand. Wireless chargers still have to get plugged in. That to me is like false advertising. Is it really wireless if it's not? I don't get it. I don't get it. Call it whatever you want. Just don't call it wired. You gotta plug it in. We're just gonna get electricity from the air? Woo! Well, maybe someday. Maybe someday. They're working on that. They are. We're not there yet. We're working on it. USB Type-C cable, which is nice. I'm sorry, USB Type-C umbilical cord. I'm gonna do my best to go that route. We also have an adapter, which, believe it or not, I find I will find rather useful. I have used these in the past for I'm not going to say unsanctioned reasons, but I have needed these adapters in the past. A Type A to C adapter. We also have lightning in a box. That's right. See, what's up with that? A Google phone came with lightning. You heard it here first. I bet you no other person on the planet talking about the Pixel 4 or the Pixel 4 XL has bothered to tell you that it comes with lightning. What is it? And if you disagree, what's that symbol then? What is that symbol? What is that symbol right there? You ever seen lightning? That's lightning right there. Lightning in a box. Right there. Lightning. But the weird thing about this lightning box is that it comes with the USB Type-C AC adapter. So, I don't know, Google. I mean, come on. Is it lightning or is it USB Type-C? Like, get it straight. Oh God, that's lightning! Thunderbolt and lightning. Very, very frightening. You heard it here first. I'm not angry. I'm just gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you how I'm seeing this so far. So I've got the Pixel 4 XL. Picked it up just a little while ago after work hours, and that's where the thumbnail came from. It literally, my thumbnail is in the thumbnail for this video. Man, I go the extra mile. Some people are all like, "Oh no, I'm just gonna take." No, I'm all like, "Man, if you want a thumbnail, there's my thumbnail. It's larger than life. That's my thumbnail. That if I could point this thumbnail the other direction, I need to clip them." Yikes! That's actually my #1 complaint for these reviewers, right? You know, they do these up close product shots and everything. Get a manicure. So I'm not gonna do any up close product shots because I don't have one. So you know, I'm gonna try to practice what I preach. So I got the Pixel 4 XL. And you know, I've got some feelings. Okay, I've only been using it for very little time. You know, because unlike 99% of the internet, I didn't have one up until 2 hours ago. Okay, so cut me a little slack. All right, just a little. All right. Believe it or not, I am not agitated. I'm not genuinely. I'm just feeling very what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. God, I'm losing my vocabulary all of a sudden. Maybe it's the hot chocolate that I was drinking. I don't know. Look at all that chocolate sludge at the bottom. So I have posted some sample photos to the Discord server. You can take a look there, and you know, of course, I tried the camera, I tried everything, and I've got my thoughts. I've got my initial impressions. And again, I haven't had time to explore everything, but I got some initial takeaways, people. So sit back, or stand up, or lay down, or do whatever you do. Okay, so let me just kind of as I see it, just say it. It's fast. And this has been seen by a few people over and over again, despite, maybe not having the fastest processor on the planet. It performs well. It does. It is snappier than the Pixel 3 XL, certainly. There is still the same choppiness in spots. For some reason or another, the Google Play Store, it is in sore need of more than just a redesign. It is the absolute worst catastrophe excuse for an app that Google has, because it is, you want to talk about frame droppage, man, left and right. And the Pixel 4 XL does not solve that problem. I'm not even going to say it makes it better. But the 90 hertz display is nice, and in going back and forth between the 3 XL and the 4 XL, that's when you really notice the difference. Like when you're using it, generally speaking, operation is fluid, as you would expect. 90 hertz, 90 frames per second. Switching to a 60 frames per second type of experience, it's a little jarring. You can't explain it. The Pixel 3 XL is still as smooth as anything. It's just 30 frames per second lagging 30 frames per second behind. I mean, any 60 hertz screen would be compared to a 90. But that just adds to the general fluidity that I've seen. I even went in and enforced in developer mode, which I'm not going to say you have to turn on, but I enforced the 90 hertz to always stay on. I know it's gonna take battery life, and oh my gosh, oh my, this is only going to last until 3:45 p.m. tomorrow. I better slow down. Yeah, I turned it on because I feel I would rather have 5 hours with a great software experience than 10 hours with a not so great software experience, or as good. I'm usually charging all the time. I'm kind of an edge case, so I'm not going to freak out about the battery like a lot of people are, and for good reason. I'm not going to, take away from them at all. There's some, I'm looking at some of the comments, and I probably shouldn't. That's like the #1 rule. Chris, don't look at the comments. Don't look at the comments. Don't look at the comments. Look at the comments. Not going to change my music. Yeah, my wife's going to unlock the phone with my face. So here's the thing. I can unlock the phone with her fingerprint. She's a sound sleeper. I just go, bloop. Do I do that? No. You know why? Because I generally don't sleep around people I don't trust. Am I afraid a stranger's gonna run up, grab my phone, throw it in my face, and then run off? No more frightened than I would be otherwise. Grabbing my hand, unforcing an unlock. I mean, there's a step that you can include. I mean, yeah, they could do that. Because all you got to, even if they had the whole blinking thing, which Google's working on, by the way, Google loses a few points for this as well. They did not stay ahead of that news cycle. They did not. And so they're going to address it. But even, you can turn on a secondary approval process after face unlock if you want to use it. But like I said, I mean, these are dangers that we face. Is this any worse than the other dangers, other possible dangers that people have figured out a way around? No! So I'm not going to call it a tempest in a teapot. Google was short-sighted in how they implemented face unlock. That said, it's fast. Like, this is to me, the only reason I would use Project Soli, right, or the radar, is because it's fast. It's, no doubt, you pick it up and it's unlocked. They're not joking. It is speedy. And that's, for someone who picks up the phone, sets it down, yada, yada, yada. It's pretty nice. That's really nice. There are times that I'm reaching for the fingerprint sensor, and by the time I realize it's not there, the phone's already unlocked. So, yeah, yay for them. That said, okay, Google, I know you're not listening. That's okay. Don't worry about it. I know you're not listening. I do want to say something. 5 apps in Google Play with the, billions of apps that you have, 5 apps are able to take advantage of this face unlock system. 5? Like, did you not think that we might need that? Or that developers would have had plenty of time to upload these updated apps with API calls, which I know the cutoff for, I think the apps at the end of the month is Android 9 is the baseline, and it'll have the general biometric versus fingerprint hard-coded for API access. Will that solve problems? Maybe. What if your app doesn't get updated for another year? That is incredibly likely. What if your developer just doesn't care because this is an edge case? So, yeah, Google, and this is something that I'm going to bring up again when I talk about what reviewers are getting right and what reviewers are getting wrong about the Pixel. The Pixel is not a hardware story. The Pixel is a software story. So the fact that Google did not have the foresight to figure out their software story with the phone that is 110% a software story makes the whole thing really loosey-goosey. What do I mean by that? What do I mean? Well, if you think about it, every Pixel has had some dramatic hardware shortcoming in one way, shape, or form. But the software helped push things through. The software was good enough to overcome some rather, in some years, worse than others, depending on your use cases for smartphones, some shortcomings in hardware. Google is not likely, this is me, this is my guess, this is personal opinion, but you're looking, you, in general, nerds who love hardware are looking for Google to do new hardware or add the new whiz-bang hardware or always up their hardware game with the Pixel devices. And do you understand what they're doing? Like, when you say that, like, you don't. Because this is not a hardware race. The Pixel is not a hardware story. It's a software story. So the hardware is there to support the software, not the other way around. And that, like I said, that story falls apart when, they don't fully bake the software. And just in my limited time with this, as snappy as it is, as fast as it is, as face unlocky as it is, as smooth, as fluid, as an Android experience that I've had, the software story's not fully baked. And I don't just mean with the face unlock thing, or really feeling like I need to lock 90 hertz display to make sure that I have a relatively consistent experience across the board. I wouldn't recommend doing that if battery life is a concern. And of course, it'll get better over time with battery optimization, and that's how it usually works. So the big thing, like I said, I really want to talk about software. The phone, great, it's a piece of hardware. Let's talk about the software. That's what matters. Sorry, that's what matters to me, and I do believe that's what matters to Google and the Pixel story. It's a software device. I know that sounds really weird, but it is. And that's why you're never going to see all the latest and greatest whiz-bang specs on a spec sheet when it comes down to the Pixel. You won't. Or are not likely. I don't think Google's going to change that anytime soon. It's been 4 years. I don't think that's going to change. Software will continue to evolve. So they moved to a gesture nav with Android 10. Rocky, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. I appreciate you watching me. So I'm enjoying watching your super chat of you saying that you enjoy watching me. Thank you. The gesture nav. Now, I didn't have access to it on the Pixel 3 XL because I use Action Launcher. I don't use the Pixel Launcher. I know people like it. And I know a lot of people just love Nova Launcher. I tried it, and it just wasn't for me. Action Launcher, had me almost immediately. I'm all like, yes! So, they knew that they were going to open up third-party launcher support eventually. It turns out that on the Pixel 4 XL, you do have third-party launcher capabilities. So I was able to use Gesture Nav. Gesture Nav is not fully baked. Not even close. I believe this is the case with not just third-party launchers, but specifically with apps. So let me go a step further. Google did something that a lot of people slagged them for last year, where the software, the corners, right? The edges in software match the edges in hardware, and so you end up with a more curved edge that matches in software that matches the hardware outline, right? Which, congruency, that's nice. The problem is the software is not optimized for it. Case in point, Instagram. I went to, I'm going for the fingerprint unlock, and it ain't there, but it unlocks anyway. So let's see here. I'm gonna, take this photo. Dang here. This is gonna be, here, I'm gonna just turn on, I'm gonna turn off dark mode just to illustrate my point. This is, do you see how, I may have to, look how the arrow is slapped up against the side. And the same thing with the next wording over there. Is Instagram going to fix this? I don't know. But that's the problem when they're matching the software corners with the hardware corners. It's a disconnect. And they didn't accommodate it. And you might be thinking, oh, that's just Instagram. Nay. I've seen similar issues at the bottom. And this is more prevalent with the gesture nav. As much as you're gaining a few pixels at the bottom, with that slim, the little, the hover thing, I think they implemented it well enough that it generally doesn't get in the way, or disturb the underlying elements, as well it should, but the transparency just is different across the board, depending on how the app reacts to the nav bar. So in Photos, if I'm in Photos, and let's see here, I'm just gonna jump over to Photos, I guess, and go to a photo that, what's an interesting photo? That's kind of interesting. I don't want to turn on gesture nav because I turned it off. That's the long story short. I turned off gesture nav. Turned it off. So anyway, what the heck? Juan, oh dude, you've got a bug, dude. Hang on. Whoa, dude, Juan. Someone else had the same issue. It's not. I don't think it's your fault. I don't think it's Juan's fault. Juan did a good job talking about the Pixel. Anyway, at the bottom, when I went to delete a photo, the problem is that the background for the dialogue that pops up confirming is cut off. And it's cut off in the knee, so you've got the start of a curve, and then it gets cut off with the new nav, the gesture nav, and it just looks horrific. Not to mention the task switching. There's a lot of flashing going on, especially with third-party launchers, and like I said, it's specific to the new height of the gesture nav, and apps that have not been able to accommodate a variety of heights for these new nav systems, right? Or the dark modes it properly as they should for better compliance and visuals. I have no other way of putting it apart from saying the cleanest design, unfortunately, with the Pixel 4 is not the gesture nav. Why do you need to see the damn phone? You can walk into a store, you've probably seen a billion. I want to talk about the software. I don't want to talk about the hardware. So, the cleanest experience that I found, not just with Fluidity, but just general design, is going with because you can't go back to the 2-button nav. They've eliminated it entirely. So I felt I had to go back to the 3-button nav. They still, thank God, included it. If only for legacy or supportive reasons. Because at least when those dialogues get cut off, it's a clean line. The top may be curved, but it's a clean line at the bottom. Clean. Cut off. So, I mean, it's just all, the software is all over the place. That's not, I don't think it's Google's fault. It's just, it's how the ecosystem is. iOS is just the same. When iOS app developers don't update their apps to accommodate new hardware, there's issues. But what I'm saying is that it's just not, it's, the gesture nav is half-baked. Period. End of story. The software corners, as they are, especially in the status bar, not a fan. The software, without accommodating the new restrictions in hardware, is... So, is that something that Google's going to fix? I don't know. Is it something that can be worked around? Yeah. Is it going to stop me from using the Pixel 4 XL? Absolutely not. I figured out a way around it. It's relatively clean. I'm good to go. So, what else? I've got a few notes here. I do have a few. I'm making notes of this like ongoing list of things that I'm running into. Okay, so here's another one. Google Maps. So I locked in 90 hertz in the developer options. This is something you can do. It's easy to do. Unlock developer options. Tap 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 tap. And so I know I am 90. I'm 90 frames per second, 90 hertz. It is what it is. So Google, and I had the same issue. You might remember years ago I had the same problem with iOS. I said, why is Google Maps so chonky as I'm scrolling across it on iOS? This just doesn't make any sense. It's chonky. Why? They froze it to save battery life. They locked it down to 15 frames per second for 60 frame per second or 60 hertz screens. It just looks chonky, like juddery, right? Well, they seemingly have done the same with Google Maps on Android, because you have the same kind of chonkiness that is prevalent when you are looking at a 60 frame per second experience on a screen that is absolutely rendering at that time 90 frames per second, 90 hertz. So, yeah, Google Maps needs to update that call. They need to, just match the screen hertz, screen refresh rate, and that would be alleviated. So even when it's locked in, and I don't mean turned on in settings, I mean locked in the developer settings, I know what I'm talking about. Google Maps seemingly has a ceiling of 60 frames per second. They've hard-coded it. I updated Twitter. This is a side issue. Twitter finally unveiled dark mode, because I guess it took them a year to figure out. No, like true dark mode, like black dark mode, like lights out. Seriously, I'm like, it took you this long to figure out how to do that? Like, okay. Anyway, they rolled it out today, oddly enough. It's nice. It's nice on the new screen, and things definitely scroll smoother. But it's not as smooth as it could be. Twitter, they did a great job with the whole lights out thing. But I'm still using Flamingo, thank goodness. And it's a very smooth experience compared to Twitter. Plus, it's more customizable. It's really sad what Twitter's done with their token limits. Really sad. Anyway, so still chonky, especially on a 90 hertz screen. The new camera app settings, This is something else that I noticed. Here, look at this. Oh, you get to see my green screen. Look at that. So here's something. You're not going to notice this outright because it's 60 frames per second stream. I'm going to notice it. But this nice little swipe down menu, swipe down animation, really nice. It goes up cleanly, but when it goes up, it's clean. It's a clean, smooth animation. But when it comes down, it's kind of juddery. You won't be able to detect it, but I can because I'm seeing it. It's juddery. It's not a smooth open and a smooth close. It's a juddery open and a smooth close. So they definitely need to improve that. Covered gesture nav, covered software issues and shortcomings. Let's see here, what else? I gotta turn on dark mode again. I gots to. I haven't had any app compatibility issues necessarily, apart from knowing that a lot of my apps that might have relied on authentication have to wait, which is just I don't know, man. Google should have worked harder on that. I mean, seriously, dude. That's a yikes. What else do I have? Okay, the camera. All right, I guess I can talk about the camera. I'm not going by notes. I'm just staring at my screen. Because it's a nice screen, right? People, I guess DisplayMate rated it high or something. Good color. Can I see the difference between this and the Pixel 3 XL screen? Nope. Not a bit. Not one. Oh, Adam Pantic apparently gave me a super chat. Oh no, he's a new member. I missed that. Hey Adam, thank you for becoming a new member to this channel. I totally missed that. Sorry, I did miss the shout out 15 minutes ago. Okay, so anyway, I can't tell the difference between the two screens. I'm not a screen aficionado in that sense. Refresh rate, yes. Screen colors and accuracy, not so much. So this is where, if you pop over to Discord, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. If you head over into the Google Chatter channel, you'll see a couple of examples of the zoom. And this is another thing. People, I get it. You're all gaga because Apple threw something new on it. Okay, it's great. Does that mean Google has to follow suit? No. Does that mean you'll never have wide angle on a Pixel camera? No. Have you heard of Moment? They make lenses. They're out of Seattle, and you can get a case with lenses, and you can, basically screw on the wide angle lens, and bam, you got a wide angle lens. In fact, Moment has I haven't used it. They have a pro camera app, I think on both platforms, to help modify distortion in wide angle, or to correct fisheye and what have you. So, there are ways that you can have a wide angle experience beyond the wide angle experience that you might have on the front facing camera. But if you're complaining because it doesn't have a wide angle lens and you really want one, but you want the Pixel, get a Moment lens and you can move on with your life and be happy. So the zoom, I want to talk about the zoom because I know people are not impressed because wait a minute, 2x zoom? These telephone, it's been around for years. This is not new. This hardware's old. Again, let me reiterate, the Pixel is a software story, which is not quite fully written yet, seemingly, on the Pixel 4 XL. I'm hoping they're paying attention. I would not necessarily say, yeah, rush out and upgrade from your current Pixel to the Pixel 4 XL. There are shortcomings that may or may not be addressed within the next 3 months. It remind me again as we get further down the line, especially if you're thinking, oh, I want to switch from the iPhone to the Pixel, because I've got my thoughts on that too. It's not a slam dunk. I will tell you that right up front. But the zoom. So I probably in the average use case for photos need zoom more frequently than I need wide angle photos. I mean, wide angle doesn't hurt, but I'm usually I need to get over there and I can't get over there and I need to zoom in, right? But I don't really do it because I know that the quality is not going to be all that outstanding. or at least in comparison, like to for a photo that I might want to keep, even photos that I don't want to keep. I'm looking for that kind of, better detail with the zoom. So the 8x zoom, it works as advertised, no doubt about that. The color stuff, there's a lot of tweaking, and Google's white balance optimization, I tend to like, but in certain environments, especially lower lit environments, it's hit or miss. I mean, but you get that with any camera, right? You get, if in well lit environments, it's far more like spot on. But a lot of that can be mitigated. If anything, you can shoot in RAW. That's easy enough. So if you go into the Discord server and look on the in the Google Chatter channel, I took a picture of. Here, I'll just do this. Is that the full resolution? Give me a second. It's not even the full resolution. What the heck? Alright, fine, Discord. Apparently, Discord resizes stuff. Alright, I'm gonna do something that I didn't think I was gonna do. I'm gonna drag this to the desktop. I'm gonna download the photos and drag them to the... as soon as it loads. Did I delete them already? Okay, then I'm gonna do this. Go over to Discord, go over there. I'm going to show you the difference in the 8x zoom. This is between the Pixel 3 and the 3XL. Oops. I'm sorry, Pixel 4 and the 4XL. Come on, you nut. Chris. Let's do this. Alt-tab. So, the nice thing is, as I'm doing this production live, here, then we do this. Yeah. I'm testing this, theoretically. Okay, no. Okay, let's try this. Come on, you nut. I'm just gonna open it in Chrome. Don't you just love live video? I should have done this before, but I didn't, so deal. Deal. Here we go. I'm just gonna open in Google Chrome here. And share the desktop. In this screen. There we go. So here we have, this is the digital zoom in the on the Pixel 3 XL. Not bad. I mean, it's not horrible. It's by all measures. But on the 4 XL, it's night and day. Like the crispness in the tree line there. Of course, you're going to lose a lot of detail in a lot of zoomed shots. But generally speaking, the definition between the two is literally night and day. And I see myself, on average, using a zoom a lot more frequently than I plan on using or would be using a wide-angle lens, with the only exception possibly shooting video. And I don't do video all that often from my smartphone. I look back on things and I'm like, I really don't do a lot of video on my smartphone that I want to keep. So, yeah, the 8x zoom is spectacular. If you give me another minute here, I will try to get that, the BB-8, my BB-8 example. Because I thought this was also, this is what I put in, like I said, go to Discord, it was kind of already there. Let's open this. Let's restore those. I didn't plan on showing you the photos, but I was like, alright, I better. Let me just drag that over. Ooh. Okay, there. It's asking me to correct it. Now keep in mind, this zoom, they're doing some software trickery with the zoom. But just to give you an idea of sitting in the same position, going back here, sitting in the same position, there you go. There's the BB-8 right there. Okay, this little BB-8 figurine sitting in the same position, just very tiny in the grand scheme of things. But with the 8x zoom, you can get that close to it. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. Low light, by the way. These are night sight shots. But yeah, these and I cropped them to a square, if only to better illustrate just how close you can get, to better demonstrate. Yeah, it really does make a difference. It does make a difference. You know, in terms of which camera takes better photos, I don't know. It just depends on what you like. Is it? I think any camera that you choose, you chose for a reason. I'm not sitting here trying to convince you it's the best thing ever, because I'm not sure it is. It is an I will say this. The camera is an improvement over the Pixel 3 XL, which is outstanding, because I'm moving from a Pixel 3 XL to a Pixel 4 XL. So all I was looking for was specifically that. You know, and you know, having paid attention to the camera, I think went, you know, kind of a long way. Let's see here. I like I said, I haven't had a lot of time to spend with it. I'm spending more time with you than I have, you know, with the actual device itself. It's fluid, snappy, things that I'm looking for in a software experience, generally speaking. Moving to a 3-button nav mitigated a few of the other design quirks that I saw, thanks to the new chonky edges that match the hardware, like, you know, the rounded corners. I understand why they did it, and I also believe that they're never going to address the shortcomings as I've seen them. I would be shocked. They'll fix other things, but probably not the things that I'm seeing in the device. It's not painful enough to say, you know, I'm going to turn tail. So, you know, there's Dennis. There's Dennis. Dennis! There's some lovely filth down here. Ooh, how'd you do? He was kind of vacillating between, like, the Pixel 4, the iPhone 11, upgrading from an existing iPhone. I don't believe, and this is coming from someone who's been using the Pixel 2 XL, Pixel 3 XL, now the Pixel 4 XL. The Pixel 4 XL is a solid upgrade from the 3 XL. There are some who would say, no, it isn't. I disagree wholeheartedly. It's snappier, and the 90 hertz refresh rate is absolutely spectacular, not to be understated. Absolutely adds to the fluidity, despite, you know, some software not being fully optimized. So moving from an iPhone to a Pixel is a larger ask. This is not, there's nothing, I'm telling you, and I said this years ago, the next iPhone killer is the next iPhone. The iPhone killer is the next iPhone. There is no iPhone killer. Despite what anybody would have told you, and look, mind you, I've been using a Pixel for going on 3 years, but the iPhone is just different. So, I can't think of any reason that anybody would be convinced to migrate to a Pixel if iOS is not causing them sufficient pain. And I don't mean the iPhone causing them pain, because I don't think the iPhone hardware causes pain. iOS was just too much for me to bear. It was death by 1,000 cuts. I can't deal. I use the iPad every day, and I appreciate it more. Still has a ways to go with software, but it is a stretch beyond the experience of iOS, specifically because no notch and ProMotion display. Things that don't exist in the newer iPhones, unfortunately. So it's off, the iPhone's off my radar. I'm happy enough with the Pixel. I'm happy I made the move. Zero regrets. Zero. In all these 3 years, I've had no regrets whatsoever. But yeah, I could not, I don't think I could convince anybody. I don't want to convince anybody, right? If you were to ask me what should you get, I'm like, I don't know. What do you like? I would ask you this. What annoys you most about the other platform? There's your answer. Because it's all those annoyances that add up. I mean, even the discrepancies between the Pixel 3 XL and the 4 XL. I've got annoyances on this new device because of the hardware design choices that Google made. And I know people are gonna, why don't you try this Android? Why don't you try that Android? Because I don't want to. Because I don't like the software experience as much. I mean, they're nice-ish, but they're lacking in other areas. Google is typically, has typically been working well enough for me, not just in terms of speed, what I might need for the average year, but like the camera quality, the photo quality. Period. And like, when you match the photo quality with the software experience, other phones have one but not the other. And there's a compromise in every device. I don't care what some acolyte tries to convince you. I'm not, like I said, I don't care what team you're on. I really don't. There's no perfect phone out there. There never will be. I'm going to say it. There never will be. Never will be. That's not how technology works. Never will be. Just won't, right? And so I'm hoping that maybe some of this will get a little cleaner in coming months. If it doesn't, I'm okay with how I've mitigated the situation in the first hour. Not nasty speed bumps, but pretty big speed bumps for an out-of-the-box experience. It was a better experience out of the box with the Pixel 3 XL for me compared to the 4 XL from the 3 XL, personally. That's me. Comments on Face Unlock. Yes, I already did in this live video, so you'll have to wait until after it's live to go back and watch it. Google does not have continuity between devices. Okay, maybe you weren't tuned in when I said Google is they're building a software story. And even then, just getting all their software to kind of feel the same has been a monumental hurdle. But that's why. It's not a hardware company. It never will be. Never. It's not what Google does. So why people project what other companies do on top of Google shows their lack of understanding of what Google is trying to do. No, I didn't say, hey, Google, did I? Did I say, hey, Google? Top 3. Oh, man, I must have said it because it's searching for something. Huh. 3-part user story. So, Google Assistant, what are you going to do? There's other neat things that I haven't had a chance to try, like the live transcribe. That's fantastic. Battery killer, but cool. Live captioning, very cool. There have been times that I've needed that. The speakers are definitely louder than the 3XL. Ample. I wouldn't say rich, but I played the Cuphead soundtrack. If only to have, flashbacks, PTSD. It sounded nice. I was like, okay, I can listen to it. I don't listen to music on the phone. So the whole, I can skip tracks by doing this, it's never, I've got motion sense turned on. I was watching a video, as a matter of fact, and I was sitting back and I was moving my hands like this and I had it like propped up, and I saw a little light at the top of the screen. It says, oh, the radar thinks I'm trying to gesture, but I don't. So my feeling is I'm probably going to turn that off because I don't have a need for it. Apart from the reaching for the phone and having it be aware to unlock faster. That's the only feature I can see that radar being useful for. And you know what? If that's the only reason I use it, fine by me. I unlock my device constantly. So yeah, that's awesome. Hey Raymond, don't worry about it. If you weren't tuned in before, it isn't your bad. Don't even sweat it. Any recorder apps that transcribe for iOS? I'm sure there are. I'm confident there are. But Google has nailed this one. Have I tried iOS since 12, Chris? Yes. There's a reason I've been saying what I've been saying, and it's not going to change. In its current state. I'll revisit again when Apple gets its software story straight. That's my opinion. Everything is my opinion. It's my personal opinion. It's my personal perspective. You don't have to agree. You don't have to like the same thing I like. You know what? See, maybe I'm an anomaly in this space, but I'm not. I'm okay. I'm secure in my own beliefs. To be okay with you having a different belief, like, I don't care. So like the people that get angry because you don't like the same things they like, dude, that's like, what are you in, like grade school? Like, come on, like you can like something different, right? There's no problem with that. I don't understand it. People get angry, legitimately angry. No, you have to like it, rah! But I don't. Now, if we were talking about pineapple on pizza, it's a different story. That's just wrong. That's just wrong. But we're not. Let's see here. Scrolling up. You only have the iPhone because in the Apple Garden, it's not as difficult to escape as you think. I still use Apple products too. In fact, I use more Apple products, physical products, than I use physical Google products. That's the truth. But given that this is my primary device, and I've just got a generic case on it. I put that on like almost immediately. I'm not into the whole, hey, let's touch and feel it and see what it feels like and looks like. I don't care what the hardware looks like. I couldn't care less. It's not as difficult as you think it is. Yeah, because I use both, and it's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. I just found something that works. Because I need this to be this, and I need something else to be something else. And I want Apple to do better than they have been doing with software, in my opinion. And I'm not the only one. Developers have been slagging iOS 13 and for good reason. I recommend you didn't like Apple's implementation of the iPhone 10 with a rounded corner. No, I didn't like the fact that the notch existed, and it made it even worse with the padding. Pixel 4 screen is way out of proportion. That's my feeling with software right now. That's basically kind of what I'm saying. It feels chonky. It feels, especially in dark mode, it feels chonkier. I don't mind the forehead. That doesn't bother me a bit. But the padding on the flanking the status bar icons, it's like, why is it so pushed in, right? Software elements haven't been optimized. Will they be? I don't know. Can they be? Yes. It's down to all the developers. So, what are you gonna do? Sorry, I'm just scrolling back and I'm looking at comments here. Another good reason to have a soundtrack, which I'm enjoying. I'm enjoying this video. Not really seeing too many comments I can throw back. Looking for questions, so if you have any questions, just, yeah, let me know. I may have already addressed some of this stuff. Have I seen the Star Wars trailer? You must be new here. It's okay. Welcome aboard. Did it last night, live. Thank you. Broken record, Chris. See, Angel, this is the problem. Is it on hell, Angel? Either way, I could have done something yesterday. Someone, literally, you're saying I sound like a broken record. But despite having done, and I'm not slagging anybody, despite having done a reaction to the Star Wars trailer yesterday live for about an hour, someone just asked, right after your comment about sounding like a broken record, if I did it. So yes, I may sound like a broken record, but what you have to understand is that some people tune in late or don't catch everything that I say. I appreciate that you're listening, and I'm very grateful that I sound like a broken record. I really am. It tells me I'm getting my point across. Rah. Corey, no! Pineapple on pizza is not amazing. We disagree on this. Sandip is asking about Face Unlock. There's only 5 apps that currently support Face Unlock. Period. End of story. Today. I don't know when that's going to be fixed, if it's going to be fixed, if it's going to be addressed, and it's down to the app developers. It's just really, it's a big ask. This is not a slam dunk. Wait a few months, man. Yeah, that's the thing. That's another thing I gotta say. When new devices come out, people are doing their research. They're looking. They're probably not watching me. They're not listening to me. That's okay, because there's a billion better tech videos out there talking about the Pixel 4, and they've been talking about it for a week. So you've already listened to it. People have already made up their mind. That's great. I'm not going to add anything new to the conversation. I'm just giving you my perspective, right? Because I want it. It's you don't have to buy the device when they release it. And I know it's exciting and it's new, and awesome. But even with iOS, even with an iPhone, I'd still recommend, wait until 0.3 is out for any iOS software revision. That's been the case since like iOS 10. Like, the initial point release is like, I mean, hello, Apple had released 13.1 within like a week of releasing 13.0 on the iPhone 11. So, and then 13.2 is right around the corner, probably before the end of the month. You don't have to get a new device on launch day. You don't. Don't feel the stress, don't feel the strain. If you want it, great, knock yourself out. What I'm saying is the same holds true for Google. And so, if some of these issues can be mitigated, might be mitigated, Google's done a decent job with software addressing bugs or glitches for the most part. What concerns me is a lot of the things that I might see or experience don't necessarily get addressed, don't necessarily get patched. And that's where I've already kind of, I've thought, well, I've got to kind of make a hard decision. Is this something I want to stick with? And it's never even, it hasn't in my using it, it hasn't crossed my mind like, oh, I can't do this. There's no way unless they address this, and this immediately. So I will absolutely stick with the Pixel 4 over the 3XL. I just couldn't necessarily recommend it for everybody to jump into immediately for all the aforementioned reasons. I'm not a hardware guy. Google is obviously not a hardware company in the sense that it doesn't chase the latest trends and keeping up with its contemporaries. But that is where its software shines. I mean, it performs very well. I've watched a couple of videos saying, look, it's a great performance. Like with video rendering and encoding on the device, the Pixel 4 XL stomps, devices with faster processors, right? So, I mean, like in its class, right? The 855 versus the 855 Plus. So, Google optimizes software. They will continue to optimize software and optimize that part of the experience. Theoretically, I think they cut corners in certain respects. And that's a literal cut corners because the corners are now chunkier. What's the best word to use for that? I don't know. They're chunky. I don't like chunky corners. I'm not a fan of chunky. Chunk. Should Nintendo come out with a smartphone or Microsoft Xbox phone? No. Hey Chris, what's your go-to home launcher? Oh, Ethan, you may have missed it earlier, and someone actually responded to you in comments. Action launcher. It's my choice. Chris, we need to infiltrate Apple and take over the whole iOS software division, huh? Yeah, if only. Right now, I'm working with Intel. Very happy with Intel helping their software. Go Intel Graphics Command Center. Woo! We've got a beta right now. It's a limited beta, so not everybody has access to it, but we are absolutely listening to feedback. Okay, I'm scrolling backward through the comments. Do a live review of the OnePlus 7T. I don't have it. I have the OnePlus 7, I think. I don't know. I lost track. They release a new phone every 2 weeks. I can't. I have one. The one that the selfie cam goes zzz, zzz, which, okay, it works. I mean, for as much as I might use it, I'm like, okay. That's the thing that kept me from using the device entirely, is like, I need a good camera. I need a camera that I know I can count on. This is what I should do. Oops, sorry for knocking the mic there. Like, I mean, this, I wish I should have taken more sample. I will do a whole photo video, okay? It won't include the iPhone 11 because I don't have one and I'm not going to buy one. It won't include another Android device that I don't have. So, no is the answer. I'll take OnePlus serious when they take their camera seriously. And it's not even close. It doesn't even rank. Forget the scores, the DxO marks, and all that stuff. What do your eyes see? What do you see? What do you use? How do you use it? That's what you should care about. Forget the benchmarks. Forget the scores. Trust your own eyes. That's why I don't understand all the photo stuff. I'm like, I see certain things, other people see other things. I'm like, yeah, you gotta decide what you need, what you want. I know I'm horrible. I'm horrible that way. I made my choice and I'm comfortable with it. Like I said, when they take the things that I need to be taken seriously, then I'll take them seriously. How's random management on the 4? Craig, honestly, I have not had a chance to use it enough to tell you. Switching between apps seems relatively fluid. I mean, I just jumped back to Flamingo here, and it didn't refresh or anything. 6 gigs seems sufficient. I thought 4 gigs was fine. I didn't have as many issues, I guess, as other people did. But yeah. Yeah, the 90 hertz, that's the thing that OnePlus has. I mean, definitely, like, going for it, as well as Razer, like, these high, and I don't know if any others, but, like, the high refresh rate, like, that's just, man, that's killer. I'll take it. I don't care about my battery. So I've been kind of fiddling with it here. Oh, I can't tell. Now I have until 4 p.m. tomorrow before I have to recharge it. I'm not using it, like, actively, but... I'm sorry, I'm scrolling back and looking at comments here. It's kind of hard to see. I still don't, Giovanni says, I still don't understand why everyone makes such a big deal about bezels, chins, notches, etc. Because they need something to complain about. Me? I'm going to complain about the software. They can complain about the foreheads, the chins, the nostrils. What? Yeah, okay. All right, okay. So if we're going on the whole face metaphor thing, let's think about that. Why do they call it a forehead and a chin? And they don't call the speaker girl, why don't they call that a nostril? Huh? Why don't they call it a mouth since it produces sound? Huh? Call them on that. Next time they say, well, the forehead's chunky. Well, what about the mouth? And they say, what are you talking about the mouth? Well, if you're calling it a forehead, then, logic would dictate that thing's the mouth. Kevin, hey, what's going on? I think the playlist it's on Pretzel. I think I'm auto sharing it on. I need to set it up so I'm auto sharing it on the Discord server. But Todd asks, Chris, do you think the Pixel 4 will pair better with the Pixel Book Go, or no unique software features that make them work together? I don't think there's anything unique about it. Maybe the authentication in some way, shape, or form, but the Pixel 3 XL paired well enough. I don't know. I don't have an answer to the question. Maybe they'll update the software a little more. I expect they will continue to improve the camera, the output of the images, the photos. They even tease that, with these night shots. I want to try astrophotography, but it sucks in Seattle. Like this, they don't buy a Pixel 4 XL or a Pixel 4 if you live in Seattle specifically for astrophotography, because it ain't gonna happen. Okay, it's like no, it's not gonna happen. But I'm gonna try. I'm just gonna get a whole bunch of clouds tonight, I'm sure. Should Google start letting older Pixel devices get the new Android OS next year? I don't think it's up to Google. That's up to the manufacturers. One of the reasons I like going with Google. That's down to the OEMs, not Google. Google already said, hey, here's what you can do. It's up to you, man. So you don't like that? Well, find other apples. I mean, not literally other apples, but in the sense of like Apple iPhones. But I don't think this is gonna win anybody over. That's not a review. It's just my gut telling me, like, it isn't going to win anybody over. It's a new Pixel. It will make existing Pixel users happier. Everybody else, I don't know. Google really needs to step up their game with software, not hardware as much. I don't think. Software needed to be a better out-of-the-box software experience than I had. Dude, I had to revert to an alternative navigation system. Like the old one, right? So, like, what does that tell you? Oh, this is just, the gesture is just too, is glitchy. Glitchy. I don't know. Maybe I'll try it again in another few months. What do I think about them taking away the fingerprint scanner? I think it was premature. They should have had 2 authentication systems on this device, but they're not hardware. The problem is the software ain't ready for the face identification system, the authentication. Even Google Play, I don't even think Google Pay is yet. So, yeah, it's their software story. If this is a software phone, their software story didn't do, man. Do I need to stop talking about Google? I said, think Google Pay, and then it thought that I was saying, hey, Google. Which now I just said. God bless America. So I get the old assistant experience, not the new one, because I'm not using the gesture-based nav, but I'd rather have the old experience on this device than the newer one for sure. You can still squeeze, and I squeeze all the time. The sides that pull up assistant, which is nice. But the other, unless all my apps are clean across the board with the elements that I have chosen in terms of gesture, in terms of the navigation bar, there's no way I can flip to anything apart from the legacy mode, which hopefully will be. I can't imagine it not being around indefinitely. I mean, they gotta keep some kind of legacy. They have to. Did I ever get screen burn-in on your previous Pixel? If I did, I didn't notice it. I don't notice that kind of stuff necessarily. You wish Pixel had scrolling screenshots like the S10e. Yeah, see, that would be nice, but it's the other software that I care about. I don't care about, like, that's a neat little feature, but like it's an edge feature. Like it's just one thing. I want the comprehensive, better experience. So the more I use it, I'll have more feedback to give you. This is obviously not a full-on review. It's kind of like an initial impressions unboxing. The camera stuff, we talked a bit about that. The camera impression. So I've covered everything I wanted to cover, I think, and I'm definitely over an hour. I'm not seeing too many other questions, but if you have any, feel free to throw them out there. As I said, pop into Discord if you're so inclined. It is free, it is open, it is public. I'll answer your questions there if I haven't already. Got other stuff going on in there. There's an Apple chatter room, Google Chatter, Microsoft, a general tech room, announcements for when I'm public or when I'm live, or any videos that I might have pre-recorded and uploaded. I should chat to an iPhone user and a Pixel user on live stream, and I would watch it. Well, okay. I mean, you're just gonna go back and forth on experiences, and that's the problem. Is one person's happy with theirs and the other person's happy with theirs, and ne'er the tween shall meet. I'm not here to convince anybody. I hope no one was expecting that. I'm here to improve product. That's why I love working for Intel. They love the fact that I help them improve like the product and help connect the community with people, right? People on the inside. So thank you, everybody. I've taken off my cans. I can hear suddenly. Wow, it's amazing. I can hear. Sounds weird. Life sounds weird. You ever done that? You have a headset on, you take it off, and you're like, what the hell's going on? So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Tomorrow, I may talk about what I think reviewers are getting wrong and right about the Pixel. Maybe give you a few more impressions. Maybe it'll be my first 24-hour impressions with the device in average use. Answering more questions that y'all might have. And I appreciate, I cannot state this enough. I appreciate the fact that you've tuned in, that you've listened, that you care enough to listen, to hear my opinion, and to put up with my shenanigans. And you're not looking for me to validate your opinion. I appreciate that. And I a few years ago, I started to say that at the end of the video, that I appreciate you. And it's legit. I appreciate you. Because I like talking about this kind of stuff the way that I want to talk about it. So thank you for being on the other side. If no one told you today that they appreciated you, I appreciate you. And so thank you for that. Thank you for if you didn't like the video, you can hit the back button. If you liked the video, thanks again. Turn on notifications for live videos, because I'm doing TLDR every weeknight, 7 p.m., talking about things you want me to talk about. So ask questions, fire away. Discord server's open 24/7. I recommend joining it. It's free, easiest way to get notifications. Talking tech there 24/7. Thank you. I'm going to go tweet a little now and go talk to my family. I love you. I do. Has anybody told you that today? Has anybody told you that they loved you? When was the last, gadget-related video that someone said that they love you? That's legit. I love you. I appreciate you. Oh, and thank you, VT Productions PC, for the super chat there at the end. I appreciate that, too. You'll get tweeted automatically when you do super chats and become a member of the channel. At this point, however, I'm going to leave you to your own devices. And may the force be with you, always.